Hello, hello, hello. We are back in this deep, watery cesspit of the cistern. Oh crap! Because we have all the tablets or all the plaques for the obelisk, but wanted to come here first, see what's up in the cistern. Good old kick. And we have the freakos down here, so we'll need to deal with them. Kinda, the way the pillars are lined up, it kind of blocks the view a little bit. Lunar pendant? A lunar pendant. There's a Latin inscription on the back which reads Sen Dia Death. What does that mean? Okay. Well, that feels significant, even if we don't know why yet. Okay, I don't know which way to go here. Wow, this is interesting. Wait, was this the creative way to get into the cistern? Like, without getting the key? And it required... Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait, this was here the whole time? Right under Malleolus' house? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm done. Alright, well, still worth checking if there's anything worth finding down here. That lunar pendant seems significant. Okay, broke through the wall. That is very odd. Nothing in here. Oh, up there. Too many paths. How do I know which one I should take? Oh, this is just a chest. 765. Man, that 4,000 denarii find, I wonder... We've never come across anything nearly that high, so I wonder if I just got extremely lucky finding that. I mean, they put it on the path back towards the portal, so I feel like most people would find it. Kind of weird, though. Alright. Crushed creature. Dang. Entering the cistern from the cave beyond. Can I get to the beyond? Maybe not. Maybe that's it for the cistern. So, this must be connected to the palace somehow, though, right? Because how would those things be in here otherwise? Unless the water, like, eroded the gold? No, they're down here. In the middle of disrobing. Wow. All of them are in the middle of disrobing. What the heck? What a time to turn to gold. Hey, I made these gold last time, didn't I? Slime! This is weird. Why would you go over there? It's amazing that I can use the bow while hanging. I'm quite an incredible person. This doesn't seem legit. So this must have been the creative way into the cistern without the key. Although, I don't know how I would get into the... Did the lower one require a key? Not sure. Hello again, Scintilla, I'm sorry. Okay. So we need this key from him. From Sentius. I don't know if I should try freeing her. She'll just kill him and then we see that bad ending again. Is what I think would happen, but... I guess I don't know unless I tried it, but we have the plaques. Might as well use the plaques. See what happens. Gets so dark in here, but I guess it makes sense with there's being no light in between these two doors. There we go. Okay. Well, here we go. Oh, baby. Man, the music... Here, I'm gonna quick save. The music is just so not as enjoyable now that it's, you know, more ferocious. Since we know that the guy that Sentius knows or remembers things through the loops. How can we pass this test if we don't know the rules? Was that Al Worth who put this, maybe? I don't know. Well, this is quite interesting. I hate these long loads. I don't know why I still need these tips, too. This is it's kind of weird. Alright. Speak his name. I don't know. Do we go all the way back to Sumerian? Nurgle the Fierce One? Grant me an audience? Oh, jeez. Nope. Hades, Lord of Many? Maybe it's like 4 locks, so I need to say all 4 names. Yeah, I could figure out that it's this way, lady. Oh my god, it's doing... Okay, so Pluto, then Hades. It's going through the architecture, bro. Oh, that's so cool. I mean, the Roman looks way better than the Greek, let's be honest here. But, I mean, the Egyptian. The Egyptian is pretty lit. Use some gold on the ceiling or something, though. Yeah, Osiris, Lord of Silence. And now Sumerian. Man, I really want it to just be like American flags on the other side, and there he is, the evil overlord himself, Donald J. Trump. No, go to serious one. Oh! Well. This is interesting. This is like some Assassin's Creed stuff going on right here. Whoa, 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 we're in space? This is sick. Lord Sidious, I did as you asked.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later.
Oh, no.
First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
I finally have achieved my task. I have reached the god of the underworld. And of course, what's your story?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to
Who were you born to? You're a god?
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
Why do you look and sound like a man?
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords. Desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive.
True. May I see your true form?
No.
Ah.
Long ago I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Who is the woman on your left?
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal.
She looks like a wax statue.
Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpine to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal.
Oh, it's her! She's the Whisperer. Is the music glitched? Is it supposed to still be this music right now? Who is that on your right?
That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she
Karen?
wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutabal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions.
Let's talk about something else.
As you wish.
What is this place?
It has come to be known simply as the Underworld. and it exists because of a wager I made long ago.
What was the wager you
That
made?
is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
That really was a long story, bro. Maybe if you, like, wrote down what the sins are, that might make them realize, you know, what's right and wrong. But it seems, like, pretty ambiguous down there, you know? Know what I'm saying? How did humans learn about the underworld?
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place, in their priest pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning. And in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth.
Whew. So it's a lot of exposition, but it's interesting. Who are your
There
kin?
are also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Persephone.
So what do you think about your interpretations in the video game series Assassin's Creed? No, not going to answer that one? Okay. Who built the city?
As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten.
How did you decide who comes
To
here?
ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for, only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Persephone's along with it.
That sucks.
Of course.
Are you responsible for the Golden Rule?
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. And when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place.
Uh-oh.
She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
So, maybe I misheard, but I thought it was just you had to have people live in a city for 1 year without sinning. I don't get where the whole, oh, if one person sins, kill them all comes from. Like, that seems like it's bending the initial rules of the trade, you know? Why can't there just be like a sin day, you know, a cheat day, like a purge? Maybe the purge is connected, you know, to this game somehow. You know, just 1 day, ridiculous sin, then you go a year off, you know? I think we could do it. Is he responsible for destroying all these lives?
I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask...
We disobey, but you don't define what the sin is.
I say, no. You destroy yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it.
Seriously, I'll go back. Just give me a stone tablet, list out the sins. I think we can do it, man. I think we can do it. Where did these golden bows come from?
When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. A consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies.
Okay. Oh, here we go. What do you consider a sin?
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong.
Okay, bud.
No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
I've always lived my life that way. It doesn't seem like you've been upholding it either.
Enough. You clearly know nothing.
Jon Snow. I've seen some terrible things here that you didn't consider a sin. How could you let them
Do
happen?
you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example?
Abduction.
Abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it? He did so because she sought to escape, a sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree?
I disagree with that.
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
I am right and you know it.
Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You will make a fine statue.
Oh my god. Enough talk, I'm going to end this is the only option.
Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon?
Well, I shouldn't have done that. Break my chamber, seize my crown. You may be immortal, but your beloved isn't.
How dare you threaten her? This ends now.
Shoot, okay.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Ow! 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 We got the crown. We are leaving! I don't even know what he did. Ow! Oh god. No! Ah! Just run! Oh, the loads, no! No! What? I got double hit! I got double hit! Oh no! Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, okay. So there must be a way to actually take him out. Right? At least that's what, you know, Equitia mentioned Hercules using force to take out the god of the underworld, and then the others like using the guide. In this case it would be Proserpina, right? Taking her crown and leaving. Oh my god, this whole thing again? Well, we don't need to...
And here, allow... No,
Yeah. I want to talk to him about the golden rule again. What do you consider sin?
Yet none.
Persuade the god of the underworld to abolish. Okay. Doesn't seem like you've been upholding it. I've seen some... Well, actually, there was more... I want to go back. How do you know when people sin?
I'm able to commune with all of the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes.
Is Proserpina connected to the statues in the same way?
If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask?
No reason.
What an odd question.
Alright.
Do you plan to speak in sweeping general?
I am... Let's say... debt bondage.
You speak of the moneylender. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
He wouldn't want to be trapped in a 30-year labor contract because of a loan.
And he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others.
The whole concept of debt bondage, like slavery, is unethical. It's illegal under international law where I'm from.
Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority, this is interesting. I'm curious, how do people escape poverty where you're from?
It's customary to take out a loan to buy a house, and in some places to pay for an education.
I see. And how long might it take such a person to repay?
That was my only option there, so that's kind of dumb, but okay. It depends, typically decades, sometimes their entire life.
I fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman
Yeah.
for 30 years.
It's not the same thing. No.
Now tell me.
It's no wonder people say the gods are cruel. This just shows how unreliable and subjective your moral code is. You're no better at judging right from wrong than any human.
Do you honestly think you could do better?
No, but that's my point. Nobody's grasp of right and wrong is so perfect that they can be trusted with all this power. You've become a tyrant.
I should strike you down for that.
And if you did, you'd be proving my point. Oh, crap! Oh, man!
Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning?
Oh, that's it?
Very well. My story.
I don't know if I need to talk about all these things or if we can just assume that I know
As
them.
you wish.
I'll just say that's all.
Only, it seems, something is wrong. It has long been within my power to see to the hearts of mortals and weigh their deeds in life. But when I peer into you, I see only a blank slate, as if you did not exist until you appeared in this city. How is this possible? Charon, where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here?
That's interesting. Maybe you're getting forgetful in your old age.
You would have us believe that my servant merely forgot bringing you here.
No, I'm not gonna... If I lie, then he's gonna... That's breaking the golden rule, right? No, I misspoke. I arrived here in about 2,000 years.
If that is true, then I sense the intervention of someone powerful.
How did you come to be in this time, mortal? Who brought you here?
We cannot know.
Proserpina did? Oh, jeez, dude. I was hoping you could tell me.
I do not know. My kin departed long ago, and Proserpina has slumbered for 3,000 years.
Shouldn't you know this as the god of the underworld?
Tread lightly, mortal. Enough of this. It seems I will need to put your reckoning on hold for now. But answer this. Why have you come here? What is it you seek?
I'm here to kill you. I'd like you to put an end to the golden rule.
Your hubris is amusing. so I will allow you to make your case. But I warn you, if you anger me or waste my time with lies or wrong-headed arguments, you face death here. So, tell me, why should I put an end to the so-called Golden Rule?
If you're doing this for love, you should know that Proserpina doesn't love you. Oh my god. No. How can you expect us to live without sin if you can't do it yourself?
That is a very serious accusation, mortal. What sin have I committed? What evidence do you have to support it?
You abducted Proserpina and imprisoned her here. You've trapped people in the city against their will. You've given terrible punishments to hundreds of people, some for minor sins, and some who committed no sins at all. Didn't you? I'll do this one.
I am well aware of the story told by the Greeks and Romans of my so-called abduction. It is entirely unfair. My love was dying, and I intervened the only way I could to save her life. What would you have done?
But didn't she choose to die?
It was an act of rebellion against the others. She knew I would have to act to save her, and I did because I loved her. I love her still. Accordingly, I reject your argument.
Okay. You've given terrible punishments to hundreds of people.
Every one of those people was guilty of failing to ensure their peers lived virtuously. They failed collectively, and so they were punished collectively. The Romans understood this, as did the Greeks before them.
If our positions were reversed, you wouldn't want me to punish you for the sins of other people.
Ah, but I am a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my own kind? You are not a peer. You are not a respected equal. Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as you wish to be treated? Do you care for their well-being as you would your fellow man? Do you ensure they have food and shelter and protection from predators? Do you give them rights?
Yes. No.
Of course not. Because that would be absurd, just as it would be absurd for me to treat your kind as equals.
Your kind and mine can't be so different, given that you're in love with one of us.
My love for her does not mean I am not superior, now that she is mortal.
That sounds arrogant. Perhaps you're not as different from humans as you think.
Bah! For a moment I thought you might have been building to a point. But I see now you are just a hubristic little creature.
Dang, I'll just say it. If you're doing this for love, bro, you should know that Proserpina doesn't love you.
He cannot know.
I see what you're doing. You are trying to undermine the one thing keeping me anchored here. You are playing a dangerous game.
Oh, man. Nah. I'm not revealing her. I'm not revealing her to you.
How close you just came to eternal torment, mortal. You will need to do better than that.
Why do I always have... Oh, the wooden bow and golden bow. Yeah, I had that same thing last time. Golden bow!
Pathetic. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Look at Karen, what the heck? Run! Ow. I wonder if I'm supposed to attack them rather than just running. I really don't know if I can take them out. Oh, I can take them out. But they're too accurate. Oh, no, I can't. No, I can't. I don't know. I don't know if I can take them out. Crap! Alright. This is difficult right now. I think we don't need to talk to him this time though. We can just... Can I just break this right now? Oh my god!
And many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
That was fun. You can't kill me! I am Juke Master Prometheus. Whoa! Look at my moves! Oh, I'm stuck on you though. Ooh, look at this flow. Look at this flow. Ooh. Literally unbeatable. Oh, but the load might ruin it. The load might ruin the flow. Look at the load! The load screws me. Take it! Zip line! Oh my god, right into one. Take it! Shoot, we need to go up. There we go. Okay. Rewind time and show Pluto you have usurping his crown. Okay. May need to ask the philosopher for help here. Oh, the guy in the cave. Interesting. Okay. Oh, the golden rule is going to be broken soon. I need you to quietly get everyone except Sentius ready to run into the upper cistern when the ground starts to rumble. Holy crap! Okay, that must be another ending. We're not going to do that one now. Yeah, do all these things. Dang, I want to see all the endings, but it feels like we're in the midst of the ultimate ending right now. Let's go talk to the philosopher first. He might know actually how to...
Fabia, listen.
Oh, shoot.
There's a troublemaker coming into the city.
Okay, well,
I know.
she's already in conversation. That's fine. So it's unclear to me, though, like, what the best... I wonder if there is a best ending. Because... we can probably convince him that his golden rule is broken by talking to the philosopher. But following Proserpina and showing him the crown, I don't know what it'll do. We've had this conversation before.
I was indeed. But we've never met before, have we? I'm sure I would have remembered. Blessed Lissa, am I losing my memory?
Yeah. I'm caught in the time loop.
Oh, that's a relief. For a moment, I thought it was I who was touched by madness.
How would you persuade the god of the underworld to abolish the golden rule?
I assume you're asking me this as some kind of amusing hypothetical?
No, I met him, but I wasn't able to persuade him. I'm going to try again.
Extraordinary. Then let me see if I can help you. I suppose first I'd want to gather information. I'd want to know about his reasons for imposing the golden rule and what he considers a sin. If I could expose some internal inconsistency in his reasoning, some degree of hypocrisy, I might be able to compel him to change his position. But as a philosopher, the saddest truth I ever learned is that all but the most enlightened opponents are more easily swayed by appeals to emotion than by reason. So the easiest path would be to find his emotional susceptibility and exploit it. If he was vain, I might try to flatter him. If he was merciful, I would try to evoke pity. As a last resort, I might figure out what he fears losing above all else, and, if I could, threaten to take it away. Though, of course, that could easily go awry. Now, go quickly while my words are still fresh in your mind.
That's it? Okay. What? Is it because I didn't ask him the questions on that save that he didn't tell me more? I think it's because I didn't ask the questions on that save. That's annoying. Oh shoot, wrong way. But, I mean, ultimately it seems like, yeah, appeal to his emotion is one of the outcomes. One of the things to do. Might ask him on this next loop just in case. I really don't know where we're heading though. Like, I don't know. Now that I know about the god of the underworld, it kind of seems like me getting back to my timeline is... What? Oh, that's the building next door. Yep. Good old assassin. Wait, but I don't have the plaques anymore. No, they stay in my possession through the loops, don't they? Or are they... Oh, maybe they're just already in it. They might already be in. Pluto. Hades. Osiris. And Nurgle. So let's see how this goes.
Allow me. No.
Yep. I'm gonna ask him these questions first, just in case.
That is merely the name you.
If I turn people into gold, blah 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 blah.
And I give you the gold. When my
I keep pressing the wrong one.
Enough. I may.
Oh,
Do you plan? There.
let's talk about something else. See this? It's Proserpina's crown.
I would recognize that anywhere, and yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it?
I took it from her after I killed her in another timeline.
You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it.
I could do this all day. I didn't want to kill her, but if you don't put an end to the golden rule, I will do it again.
You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium humiliated and alone.
That's the idea.
Perhaps you are cleverer than you appear. I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that Proserpina was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let
Psycho? I got an Epic Games achievement called Psycho. That's funny.
Know this. If I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
We just want to return to the world.
Very well. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Why?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
Okay. A Herculean task. So this was the Herculean task? Okay. Oh, Al Worth. Hello, Al. We're here once again.
Oh.
What a dumb name.
Hi there.
It's probably,
a bit
it
of a
has to
fright.
mean something.
I thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Al Worth, I came in here to find you.
Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Prometheus.
Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner,
Yep.
foiling an assassination attempt,
Uh-huh.
and so on. Meanwhile, the Oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the Oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook, and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him, and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Sounds a bit far-fetched.
No, it reads like an earnest account to me. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
I'm right behind you. Okay. Doesn't feel like the main ending. But maybe, I don't know. I guess we met the god of the underworld. Whoa. Suppose maybe it is, though. What are you doing,
I'm
Al?
gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Good idea.
Go on ahead. I'll be there soon.
It's kind of weird. It just runes. I guess, yeah, you kind of fall a long distance. This ending, it feels like it's trying to be a happy ending, but I don't know. I guess it's kind of happy. The gods are gone. We're just left to be humans. But I want to go to Elysium. Oh my god, Karen's still here.
You're back. But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
I found him. He'll be in.
What a
He'll
relief.
be here in a moment.
Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
See, I'm not so sure. Karen didn't know. So, is this really Karen, or was that just like a huge coincidence? I'm going to say your real name is Karen, but she's going to be like, what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah,
Oh, never mind.
I thought you
Oh,
knew.
God!
Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Jeez Louise. Who are you really?
You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
What truth is that?
That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you
Okay, that's what I thought for like
My
the longest time.
as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
How did I die?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
Heck, it's Prometheus, not me, you know? Yeah,
As you
Prometheus
wish.
wants to know.
You were murdered.
Of course I was murdered. Was
You
it a Karen?
exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics. including 2 silver coins of ancient origin. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not.
Prometheus would not lose this
Your
fight.
ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth.
What a dumb
You
name.
reached in possession of a sacred coin, called Karen's Opal by some. And so it was my duty to bring you here.
These were the last 2 coins that Pluto mentioned. What's so special about these coins? I know. Oh my God! Because I didn't talk to him about it.
The tales of the Greeks and Romans.
Yeah.
A long time ago, my orders were simple. That is a question you would have to ask him, if that were still possible.
Dang! It's annoying that
I'm
it
just
doesn't
his servant, doing his bidding.
remember that I asked all those questions.
I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, the coins on you and Al were the last of the 1,000 in existence. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Can you return us to the land of the
I
living?
see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Karen, you're a
Kinda
good
lost track
actor.
of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Alright, Karen. Ferry us home. 1 year later. Currently exhibiting ancient Rome, Greece, Egypt, and Sumer. Okay.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through,
Prometheus,
I
the author.
appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
I don't like this. I don't like this one bit.
Oh, hello.
What the heck?
There he is.
Oh, we're still dead.
You're finally here. Remember me?
Yeah. Galerius, hello.
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world.
Oh,
Even gave
okay,
us
this
some
is...
coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks.
Yeah, we had more than
Freeing
one,
us from
but
the
that's
underworld
funny that you
and
only remember one.
Giving us a second chance at life.
You're with Equitia now? Oh!
I know. I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged.
Ha
and living
ha
together.
ha!
We're planning to
My
get married
man!
next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
I'd love that. Count me in. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
It's good to see you
Of course,
again,
there's a
Galerius.
whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
This is weird.
It's you.
Hello, Equitia.
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you.
What if I had talked to all of them before I entered the temple?
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room.
Yep,
It feels
Dooley,
like
yep.
the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us.
How's Livia?
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself.
I'll do that. It's good to see you again,
See you at the
Equitia.
wedding, I hope.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm gonna talk to all of them, aren't I? Why does this not... This feels like it should be, like, happy, but this feels wrong to me. This does not feel
Oh, hello.
right. Hello, Dooley.
Hello. I'm Dooley.
Are you gonna steal stuff in here?
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
I'm sorry you never found your treasure.
Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells stories. It's my favourite thing.
Like a book? Or an iPad? I'm glad you're happy. What are you doing with yourself
I live
these
at
days?
Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after me now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
Oh, Dooley. Of course you do.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Dooley.
Hey,
You said hey. Cynthia?
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
Good to see you again,
Actually,
Cynthia.
I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure
That's
if
cool.
you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple.
Whoa.
She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again.
Okay. What are you doing with yourself
Anything I
these
want.
days?
I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me.
Ah,
Because
Alexa.
it's just
Yes.
awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
Uh-huh. What happened to Sentius?
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld.
Oh, dang.
Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time.
That is brutal. What?
Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
Seems a bit excessive, don't you think?
I try not to think about him at all.
Good to see
You
you
too.
again.
See you around.
Evening.
Hello, Horatius.
Hi there, I'm Horatius.
Yep. Hi, Horatius.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. And reuniting Centilla with us as well.
Is he a military man now?
Thank you.
Wearing some digital camo?
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's
Good for
changed
you.
a lot.
Kind
Some
of.
things stay the same.
Maybe not.
Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides.
Good to see you again.
And you. Farewell.
Good to know you weren't following me the entire time. So I was freaky in the first episode. Yulia.
You're the Oracle, right?
Prometheus is
Of
fine.
course. Sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
All of this dialogue has to be variable, you know, based on what you do before you go to meet up with Pluto. It's real weird. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a
That's not
house
good.
share in London with my wonderful girlfriend.
Oh.
And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you
How'd you
already
know
all
what a
that, of course.
Pegasus?
I'm just so excited.
You didn't actually
There's so
fly
much
in
to
a
see
Pegasus.
and learn and write about.
Seeing the world through fresh eyes sounds wonderful.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day.
Whatever happened to Malleolus and Claudia?
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
Why would you have learned that? I think you're allowed to
Thank you.
feel that way.
You're very kind.
How long have you guys been back also? That's interesting. Whatever happened to Aurelia?
Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck.
A Nigerian prince. Interesting. Don't worry, something tells me she's going to get what she deserves.
Well, you are the Oracle, so I suppose I'll take your word for it. Huh. I feel better already.
She just got
Thank
pulled
you.
into a pyramid scheme or something, probably. Alright, good to see you again,
You
Yulia.
too. If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
Thanks for the offer.
You're
I'm not going to take you. Alright, Lucretia, you were cool.
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you.
Hey, Lucretia.
Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd
12
never leave us
months.
alone.
Interesting.
Speaking of which, I wanted to say
Wonder why
thank
that
you
is.
in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them.
Oh,
off.
wait. That was us, too. It said 1 year later. I'm dumb. But they weren't at the place with me. They weren't at the ruins with Al and I. What are you doing with yourself?
I'm studying to get into medical school.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
Good to see you,
You
Lucy.
too. Don't be a stranger.
Whew, still lots more people. Let's go. The Hermit Philosopher. Wow, what a fancy outfit you got.
And here you are. It's wonderful
Yeah,
to
see,
you
he
again.
remembers me.
Oh, and by the way, I go by Philip now. A fine Greek name. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
Catabasis? Do you still think Utopia is out of reach?
Aha, you remember that? I have to admit, I've been profoundly impressed by the advances humans have made these past 2 millennia. The sum total of human knowledge available at our fingertips, miraculous modern medicines, and a series of prosperous democracies. Your contemporaries have come further toward utopia than I ever thought possible, though there's still a way to go.
Agreed. What are you doing with yourself these
I'm
days?
working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
How did they let you in? There's no way you got, like, a doctorate degree or something
My sincere thanks
in a
once
year.
again.
Yorius.
Greetings. You must be the legendary oracle.
You work at Gucci
It
now.
is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius. I am told we
Hello.
have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that I am most grateful.
What are you doing
I
with
am
yourself?
reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure-Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
Thank you, Georges. Perhaps I will. Good to see you
You
again.
too, my friend.
Oh, Fabia. I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia.
Mm-hmm. That's what you
I
say.
wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure.
You're welcome.
I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night.
What are you doing with
Well,
yourself?
It's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so I just do what makes me happy.
Wow.
Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows and yoga
More
pants.
memes.
What
Okay.
a time to be alive.
Man, you've really adapted within the year. You've really adapted. Yeah, sounds like a life well spent.
Really
Good
is.
for you. Good to see you.
You too.
What the?
Some soiree, innit?
Decius, please keep off the furniture. It says right there.
Ah, hello at last. You must be the oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Dacius.
Hi, Decius.
Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for
I
what
feel
you
like
did.
I'm at
If it wasn't
Alcoholics
for you,
Anonymous or
I'd never
something,
been
just
able to
like
sell
saying
those
hi
precious old
after
relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that
sitting in the
temple made me a
circle.
very wealthy man. Thank you.
No need to thank me. It was entirely unintended.
Such acerbic wit. I love it.
What are you doing with
I
yourself?
took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market.
Oh yeah.
That's where the real money is now.
Probably
In fact,
put
I was
money
hoping
into
to ask your
NFTs,
advice,
don't you?
You being the oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
I wouldn't help you even if I could.
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
DVD rentals have a bright future. Broadcast television is going to be the next big thing. Print media is going to make a huge comeback. Yeah, that'll really get them.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm going to make a bloody fortune.
I'll be going now.
Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
No problem, Dacius. Get off the furniture.
Good evening.
Octavia.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Nice to see you too,
I'm
Octavia.
thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary.
Yeah, so what are you thinking about your Christian god now that I drove off
I'm living in Rome again.
a
charming
pagan
little
god?
flat by I'm not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I
Oh,
just want to
that's
spend
that's
the rest of my
wholesome.
life helping people, like you helped him.
Sounds like a noble cause. Good on you.
Thank you. That means a lot. And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this. If you'd like to join us?
Oh, baby! I'm in.
Wonderful. I'll see you soon.
Sounds like a date. See, the Greek lion statue's winking at us, you know? Wow, Livia, you cleaned up.
Greetings.
A little bit. Maybe not.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
What are you doing with yourself these
I'm
days?
recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while. At least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
Read any good poems lately?
Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit.
Oh, that's kind of
Men
creepy.
have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence.
Perhaps you're right. Good to see you
And
again, Livia.
Farewell, friend.
Okay. We're moving, we're moving, we're moving. Kabosh! Let's go!
It is an honor.
Whoa, are you in a biker gang or something? Thanks, Kabosh.
You know my name. Oh, of course. You are an oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous.
What are you doing with yourself?
For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
Wow. Huge sinner over here. He burned it. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Oracle.
Whoa, are they together now? Say, hey, Rufius.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you too, Rufius.
I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for what you did. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff.
Turns out you were right. The statues really were watching us.
Good to know. Anyway, it was good practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones everywhere.
True.
Got to stay vigilant.
Otherwise you'll become a meme. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for
Destroyed in what war?
Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time.
Good for you, Rufus.
You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Good to see you, Virgil.
I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow.
Yeah, I kind of like him more than you, to be honest.
I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam, just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
Good to see you
You
again.
too. As Rufus said in his own laconic way, if you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
Thanks. These guys have really learned a lot within a year.
Hi.
What? Scintilla looks like Elizabeth from
Hello there.
Bioshock Infinite. Hi, Scintilla.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
I had no idea. What? It doesn't even say that's a lie. Sounds like he got what he deserved. What are you doing with yourself
I'm
these
living with
days?
Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
I might just do that. Good to see
Thanks.
you again.
You too.
And Ulpius.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius. I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'll be forever in your debt. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier. Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
Good to see you.
You too.
I really, honestly and truly, I can't tell if this is a really happy ending. A Latin plaque which reads, "All must walk this path to where the laws of day help the virtuous to paradise in this city beneath the earth. The ravenous hunger of the avaricious is sated at the banks of the stream, but in vain, for none from here may return." I can't tell if this is like an idyllic ending or if something is still very wrong. Like the rug might get pulled out from under us again. I don't know.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
Oh, Persephone. Oh my god, she still whispers?
Sorry if I frightened you.
That was
just
freaky.
Just a joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
I recognize that voice.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Persephone, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
You created the time loop?
I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. So I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required to create a portal in my shrine. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power, and so I put a safeguard in place. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used selflessly to help others. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day, and as a veteran soldier he had long since shed his fear of death. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life indefinitely by exploiting the cycle. Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him, and there was little I could do but wait for someone like you to come along and see him for what he was. We were all fortunate you came along when you did.
It became a
I don't know
Pluto.
what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
You were whispering to me all
Indeed.
along?
Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues, and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
Fair enough. What became of Karen?
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind.
That's
she wouldn't say what
menacing.
it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day.
Nice
And
meeting you.
you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
How could I forget?
Good, because they remember you.
Oh my
Well
god.
done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld in return, none came close to achieving.
What about the ones that were like scraped to hell by Navy? Naive, or whatever the heck her name is. The canon ended. Oh, okay. Ending 4. Okay, so this is that was the ideal ending. So we didn't do 2 or 3. Huh. Well, there we go. That ending was so perfect. As in, like, I don't know if it could have turned out any better than that. I don't know what possible thing could have happened where it turns out better than it did. Huh. It's really funny that because it's alphabetical, Alworth comes first. Well, overall, that was a cool game. I don't know. I really don't know what to make of all its reveals, because all of its reveals made sense, but it's still, I don't know, it still felt like it was leading somewhere. I don't know why I think that, though. It was really cool getting to that point, though. I mean, like I said, I'd played Outer Wilds pretty recently before this. And I definitely got some of that Outer Wilds sense in here. Not nearly to the same extent, though. I mean, this one, because it had the quest log and all that stuff, it definitely felt way more guided. And honestly, some of my favorite moments were just sort of the smaller discoveries, like, oh hey, let's trick the assassin into going into that collapsing shrine. That was fun, getting the bow. It definitely felt very much like Skyrim once you actually had the bow. The bow mechanics were basically the same. I wonder how long these credits are, because I didn't think it would be that big of a team. They must have... you know, expanded or whatever when they moved to make the full game after the mod. I have no idea how many people worked on the mod either, so that, I guess I could look that up too. Tiago de Freitas. Ported to consoles. Pfft. We're PC players over here, am I right? Oh my gosh. I'm shocked that my laptop handled this game so well. I'm really happy actually with how it played overall. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed the game a lot. I really liked, you know, uncovering the city's mysteries. The dialogue seemed a little basic at times. Like, it was weird to me that, you know, it was kind of made a joke of it, that it was always like, what's your story? Was the same question every time. Oh, I still hit escape no matter what, I guess. Oh, message from the developers. We hope you enjoyed The Forgotten City. We'd love to make even better games in the future, and you can help out by recommending The Forgotten City to a friend or writing a review The more people play our games, the more we can level up. And if you'd like to be the first to know, yada yada yada. Wow, you could go to their YouTube right from here. Interesting. Facebook. Uh-oh. It's meta now. I guess the product is still Facebook, right? I don't know. But yeah, I thought the dialogue got a little basic at times. And I don't know, I guess I thought it would get a little crazier with the time stuff. Like, as the game went on, it felt surprisingly linear. Like, I had options of things to do, but you know, it just start the loop, tell Galerius the things, go put the plaques in, you know, like, I guess I thought, I'm saying this when I didn't actually test things out, but I wonder how weird it can get, like, depending on what you do in one loop versus another loop, if you do certain things and not other things, how the dialogue reacts to that. I didn't even see 2 of the endings, so, you know, I don't know. But, alright, I think that will do it for this playthrough. We got the canon ending. I don't really feel like I need to force it to see the other 2 endings. Feel free to look them up if you would like to do that on your own. I might try and find them myself, I'm not sure. But I think that'll do it for this playthrough. Overall, I enjoyed it, and I'm always really happy to make these playthroughs. And as I say every time, I'm not sure when I'll be able to do another one. But I really hope it is sooner rather than later. I really hope to do one again. Well, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.